But you know, I hope everybody had a safe one and they made it through okay. Okay, now the other day we had 12, hopefully here on in we'll be good. No more holidays for a while, and I'm glad they're over. So it was said on that record, we're gonna have these nature phrases. Okay. Hashi is sun. Hashi is sun. So hashi heidos. Hashi heidos. Hashi is sun, hei is hot, dos. And look how it's spelled. He-a-c-e. He-a-ye-e. D-o-c. When you say that and spell it the way it's supposed to, it will be a lot easier. That's how come I started spelling, so that y'all could hear this spelling. Okay, look at this next word. Hatisi, hatisi, hayaya goshidos. Hayaya goshidos. That's where you need that tone, because hayayagi, it means bright or light, lit up. And goshi, remember, goshi is like really bright. Just saying it's really bright. Hatisi hayaya goshidos. He a c e c c e. He a ye a ki o c e d o c. Kolaswa sulgidos. There is a lot of stars. You know, during the winter time when there's a lot of stars like this, kolaswa. Sulgi don't know what. They say it's really gonna get cold. Kolaswa sulgidos. Ki o li a si we a. Si u li ki e d o c. Now, if you know when I tell you I forgot how to spell in English sometimes, this is exactly why. Because I can go through this like second nature, and that's where I want to get y'all to. This is what y'all need to be seeing, you know, instead of ETO for idle, it's EDO. EDO. That's where you need to be. Okay. And, you know, this is where I want you to be. That's how come I started spelling these phrases and words to you. EDO. Nixe dos. Ni-iki C-A-G-E. Nixe dos. Nixe dos. Ni-iki C-A-G-E. If you spell it the way it's spelled, if you use the sounds, you could just about hear the enunciation to it. Bahi Dachka Osahandos. It's going to be time to cut grass. Bahi is grass. Dachka means cut. Osa, going to be time. Handos, going to be. Osa means time, like Osida. Osa Handos. B-A-K-E D-A-G-G-A. O-C-A. He-A-Ni. D-O-C. Bahidachka Osahandos. The flowers are pretty. Bakbagoji Hisagoshi dos. B-A-B-A-K-U-G-E. Hisagoshi means pretty, really pretty. He-E-C-A-K-O-C-E. D-O-C. Remember, dos is a filler for is, it is, are, and it's a filler for are right here. There are a lot of rocks. Chado sulgidos. Chado sulgidos. G-A-D-O. C-U-L-I-K-E-D-O-C. Chado. G-A-D-O. Chado. And that's the two sounds that you see, ja and do. That's the two letter sounds. The lake is big. Ahasisa, Tlako, Sakidos. Akasi Tlako, Sakidos. Akasi Tlako is lake. And remember, Akasi is pond. So when you say add big to it, you're saying a big pond, actually. Okay. Akasi Tlako, Sakidos. A, Gi, Hi, A, C, E. C, A, Gi, Gi, O. C, A, Gi, Gi, E, D, O, C. The lake is big. Totka, Ligot, Hidos. The fire is warm. D, O, T, Ki, A. Li, I, Ki, U, T, Hi, E, D, O, C. Now, see, to me, I don't know, maybe it's just me or because of the language, the way I think of the language, you know, having to, you know, at one time, you know, I told you I was obsessed and passionate for it. But, you know, when you listen to this, like, every one of these, when I say T-O-T-Ki-A, Li-I-Ki-U-T-Hi-E, D-O-C. It just sounds good to me. Instead of saying T-O-T-K-V. Everybody spells like that. Everybody. And you spell L-E-K-U-T-H-E. You know, that's common. That's like everybody else would spell this. If you took these words to somebody and told them to spell it, they're going to spell it T-O-T-K-V. And you know, but if you learn to say T-O-T-Ki-A, Li-I-Ki-U-T-Hi-E, D-O-C. You know, and I always, that's different. You're unique. While everybody's spelling it in English, and you spell it in the way that we spell it as Mvskoke people, it's a uniqueness. And you know, at one time I told you I like being different. I'm glad to be different. Like I told you, girls were wearing designer jeans. This was way back when I was in high school. They were wearing designer jeans and whatever. I was wearing boys button-up Levi's and Converse tennis shoes. You know, I wanted, and not because I wanted to stand out, but because I wanted to be, I didn't want to be like everybody else. I had to be my own person. So that's, you know, that's me. I like being my own person. And you know, I have a grandson that I was talking to just over the holidays, and I said, you know, it's okay to be different. And I said, I may be different. I said, sometimes I'm quiet, sometimes I don't talk as much, but they call me a talker. I'm a talker, you know, and sometimes I'll just be quiet, you know, and that makes you, sometimes that makes you different, but yet different in a lot of ways. For some people, it could be good, and some people it could be bad. You know, and that's how people look at you. And I said, that's okay, because I like being different, you know. So if you spell like this is you don't hear this. And this makes this unique, this language. Because I could spell this O-W-B, but that would be English. K-V-S-B-P-P-E, that's English, dos. But to make this truly Mvskoke, truly, you would say U-we-a. Ki-a-si-a-bi-bi-e. Ti-u-si. Owa goes up bidos. The water is cold. Owa. Now listen to Owa. O-we-a. O-we-a. Owa. O-we-a. Gasapidos. Remember, when you have those two consonants together, you got to pronounce both of them. Gasapidos. And this goes back to your 2 and 3 letter sounds. And it's just breaking it up, putting it together. Okay. The water is cold. The hill is tall. Ganhalwaji Mahidos. Ganhalwaji is a hill. Mahi is tall. Dos is. Ki a ni. He a li. We uchi e. Me a he e. Di o si. You know, to everybody else, that is just gibberish. But for us, it spells words. And I'm sure when our people didn't speak English and they heard the English language, it was gibberish to them. It was gibberish. This, you know, we're putting a shoe on the other foot now. Ganhalwi Thakko, Heach the West. Now look at the difference. Ganhalwi Thakko, Heach the West. I am looking at the mountain. But this is Ganhalwuji. Remember, anything that's small, Uji, hill. Ganhalwi Thakko is mountain. Ganhalwi Thakko, Heach the West. I am looking at the mountain. Ki ahni, he ahli, we e. Si a ki ki o. He si. E he e g. D o we a c. You know, looking at this and spelling it that way, who has practiced that? Who has practiced doing that? Who has looked at a word and just practiced it, you know? And like I said, you know, it's hard to forget this English because it's embedded in us. We're conditioned to use English. We're conditioned. So in order to, we have to uncondition the English language and switch over to being Mvskoke, okay? And that's where this is the hardest thing to do. So, you know, I sometimes imagine my mother when she said that she went to school without knowing English, and a lot of them did. That was a cultural shock. Just the language itself that they heard was a cultural shock to them. And I can imagine how they felt, you know, sitting there listening to a strange sounds coming out of these people's mouths that had no meaning to them. And I sit there, you know, and I often think about that, you know, and you know, my husband tells, like I said, he says I think too much. But sometimes I can just put myself in that place and think, what would I feel like? I would feel like an alien from a different world and put in this world that's a cultural shock. It was a cultural shock. And you know, that probably wasn't good for my mother to a point, but you know, she had to learn it in order to get an education. And this education did help her, but she never forgot the language. She never forgot it. You know, she didn't forget it. So it was kind of, I think about things like that all the time. I have yes, it would have been scary. It would have been scary to go into an unknown place to begin with that she wasn't used to, from home into a place that was unknown to her, but then to hear a totally different language. You know, it was, to me, would have been a cultural shock and even a traumatic event, you know, for them. So I don't know. And she said it was really um she said I didn't know one word they were saying. And she said they'd be speaking to me. And she said now when I realized that some were even harsh tones at her. And being a teacher, not knowing that they didn't know how to speak English and to be harsh was I think was even more of a traumatic thing than being screamed at and hollered at. Hasutoshat. Hasutoshat is sunny. Hashoti is sunshine. It's sun. Hashoti means it's sun is shining. But Hasutoshat means like it's so sunny today. Mojanita Hasutoshidos, you say that. Hasutoshat. It's H-A-C-O-T-O-C-R-T. Hasutoshat. That's where your two letter sounds come in. Hashoti, it's sunny outside, it's sunshiny. H-A-C-O-T-T-E. Cold. And by the way, our New Year's Day was 70 degrees up here. Down here, we were 70 degrees. And they used to tell us, our people didn't like that. They always said that it needed to be cold. It needed to be cold or we would lose a lot of people when our New Year's was like that. And we were warm and sunshine. Yeah. So our elders, which there's not very many around, but our elders would not like what we enjoyed it. And my grandkids were outside playing and everything, but they didn't know what was said way back. And I told them that day, that our people did not like it to be sunshiny and warm during New Year's Day. And it was. Gashapi, cold. G-A-C-C-A-B-B-E. Gashapi. Ligorhi, warm. Li-i-ki-u-ti-i-i, warm. Ligorhi, hot. Hey-yi. He-a-yi-i. Yesterday my grandkids said, Grandma, talk to us more in Creek. And I said, okay, and I was teaching one that, especially the middle little girl. She said, Grandma, we need to learn more. And I said, yes, you do. And I started speaking to her. And then she said, we need to learn more. And so I said, Noggin. I said, what? And she looked at me and she said, and I said, you done forgot Noggin. And she goes, and I said, think about what you just asked me, baby. I said, you said, teach me more. And I said, Noggin. She said, oh, see, she didn't know what, that gave her a clue when she said, teach me more. And I said, Noggin, what? Teach you what? What do you want to learn more of? And she finally got it. She goes, I forgot that word, Grandma. See how you can kind of find out what people are saying by kind of listening and what you said, okay? There's that clue right there. So I said, Noggin, and she goes, I forgot. And I said, what did you just say? And she said, teach me more. And I said, Noggin. I said, what? Teach you more of what? See, and she goes, oh, I got it now. See, okay, guys, that's where tone comes in a lot of times. Tone and listening to what you say and what the other person, that one word or even is a clue to what this person is saying, okay? Okay. Hey, hot. Hodali, wind. Hodali yikchi, strong wind. Hodali labutke, straight winds. Hodali thako, tornado. We had tornado warning out too, and this is January. You talk about weird weather now. And see, that's the kind of things that was kind of an omen to our people. Like the warm weather, you know, like the warm weather. They didn't like warm weather because there was an elder that, you know, my mom used to talk about. She used to say, oh, it's so sunshiny and warm. We're going to lose a lot of people. That was a sign. Well, then I got a call from this one woman that lived in town, and she was an elder. And she said, it's no good. Hitiko do ishji. Ihonwa. Ligon hoshit. Kashapigad. She said, when it's so warm and not cold, she said, it's no good. She said, Ishtijari shumijahish. She said, the Indians will go away. That she meant die. And I, you know, but I heard that all my life, you know, and then the other day I was telling my kids and my grandkids, I said, you know what, elders would not like this. And my oldest daughter said, I know. She said, it's sunshiny. And she said, you don't even need a jacket out there. Okay. Hana Jofila, whirlwind. Hana Jofila, whirlwind. And I told y'all about the little thing about that. If that happened to run into you, we used to run from it because they tell you you're going to jail. The whirlwind, the little bitty whirlwinds that come on the ground like grass or sand that form, they say if it ran into you or hit you, you're going to jail. Lightning, adokihati, adokihati. And that adokihati can mean electricity in your house. Not just lightning, but also electricity in your house. Okay? Or anything that's got electric to it. Jiniki, we heard that. I heard that last night too. Jiniki, thunder. Jiniki. And you know, when it was really thundering, it did be real loud, you know, or thundering. The elders used to say, Ishtabaki doshi. Ishtabaki doshi. They're mad. This storm's getting mad. It's getting mean. You know, when the thundering was really, really loud and stuff, they say, Ishtabaki doshi. Ishtabaki means it's mad. It's getting mad, or it's getting mean. Ishtabaki doshi. And I knew then that the storm was bad because when they said Ishtabaki doshi, it's getting mean. When that thunder was real loud or something, they say that, and that meant that it was mean. The storm was getting mean. Rain, ushki, we got some of that. Ushki, sprinkling, ushki washki. Those are little bitty ones, and washkujiwi, just little bitty ones. They're like cut up, like, you know, that's what that washki means. Suddenly beji, freezing rain. But actually, suddenly beji means it's covered. It's covered, the roads and stuff. So that's like freezing rain. Snowstorm, hidori sako. Hidori sako. Hidori hatkija, frost. Hatkija means it makes it white, and that's how come when frost comes in, it makes the ground white. That's what they're talking about, hatkija. Hidori innika, sea. Innika is something sea. And if you look at hail or sleet, if you look at sleet, it looks like a seed, and it's descriptive. Hidori innika. Okay. Look here. Christmas words. Christmas, they called it Dajagofako. Dajagofako. Dajagofako is Christmas. Reindeer. We don't have reindeers down this way, so we call it Ijo.
Mvhayv,
Uh-huh.
on that Mvskoke weather, wasn't there some more words on the second column?
let me see. How did it say? Sure enough. Okay. Cloud. Let's go back to this. Ahology. Ahology is a cloud. Or they'll cut it off and they'll just say hology. Instead of ahology, they'll say hology. A-H-O-L-O-G-E. Fog. Hobisi. Hobisi. O-B-E-C-E. And you know, we got a person named Fog, and his name is Obisi Yahola. But I've heard everything pronounced the wrong way. They called him Hopatali, Hopisi. You know, I thought that was I didn't like it, and of course I understood they didn't know how to pronounce it. I heard every word except Obisi. He was Fog. Obisi. And you know, I did my final paper on him and I could not find no info, but I took the stories that my grandma had told me about him. About little stories my mom told me that was passed down, and I made my research paper on it. And I don't know if anybody ever heard of some of these stories. You know, they said he was an extraordinary man. You know, extraordinary person. But you know, my mom and them, they knew. So they told me those stories. And I liked it. Some of this Hobisi, some of these are repeats here. So Hobisi was one, and we had that the other morning. It was Hobisi do Nade. It was foggy, but I came. Here we go.
Mr.
Anybody?
Raymond, Mr. Raymond, if you could mute your mic, that would be fantastic. But
There you go. Let's see. Okay. Christmas. Dajago Fakko. Dajago Fakko. They also call that for Santa Claus too. No. C-A-G-A-G-O. C-A-G-O. Dajago Fakko. Reindeer, we don't have reindeer. So we just call him Ijo because that's what he is. E-G-O. Ijo. Okay. Mistletoe. Do illegal. And do is short for ido. It's if you put the E on there, it's ido. Illegal means doesn't die. It's descriptive. Do illegal. Do, ido, illegal. So if you shorten that, take the E off, you got do illegal. And that's how we call it, do illegal. Tree that doesn't die. It doesn't die, so we call it, so that would be, you know, do illegal. D-O I-li-i-gi-o. Spirit. Buya ficture. Buya ficture could be the ghost or spirit, you know, and spirit can be told in any way. It can even mean your soul. Your soul. Buya ficture. B-U-Y-A-B-E-G-G-A. Buya ficture. Now I made this up, Scrooge. You know, I looked at, and you know, like I said, we replace words with things. And the way the story was told on Scrooge was he was stingy. So I called him Injaga. Injaga means he's stingy with things. So it's E-D G-A-P-A. Injaga means he's stingy with things. Injaga. Snowman. Hidodi isti. Hidodi is snow. Isti is a person. Snowman, that's his descriptive word. Hidodi isti. He-E-D-U-D-E. E-C-T-E. Christmas tree. Ajina. Ajina. And that is for cedar tree. Cedar tree is ajina, but we got another name for pine tree, chule. So that's ajina is the cedar, okay? A-G-E-N-I-A. And you know, we use this as in medicinal purposes, you know. We use cedar. So that's kind of a special tree to us, not just a Christmas tree. Jump jaga, jump jaga. G-A-B, he, G-A-P-A. That's a veil. Jump jaga, jump jaga. Veil. Angels. Halwi isti. Halwi means high. It's descriptive. And you know, they have some Creeklish words onto it. They say angelagi, angelagi. But they called it halwi isti, high people. Halwi means high and isti means people. He, li, we, E-C-D-E. Carols, like songs. Yahegida. Yahegida. Yahegida is to sing. Because it's got the E-D-A, remember? Yahegida. It's got the E-T, that's an infinitive verb. Because it's got the E-T-A at the end. Yahegida, to sing. But it means carols. Ye-a-he-a. G-E-D-A. Those are and that's any singing. That's any song. It don't have to be carols. It can be any songs, hymns or ceremonial songs, whatever. You would call it Yahegida. You would call it Yahegida, not just for carols. Fruitcake, Darlek Jamba. Darlek is short for Darlegi, and Jamba means something sweet. Darlek Jamba. My grandma used to make mincemeat pie every Christmas. Ooh, I hated mincemeat. You know, she'd make homemade mincemeat pie and she made all of us eat it. And I did not like it, but you know, we couldn't say that. You know, we couldn't say we didn't like it and I can't eat it to this day. I don't like it. I never did like mincemeat pie. And me and my husband was talking about it. He said his mother liked mincemeat pie. And she made it for Christmas, you know. It was a Christmas pie, I guess. I don't know. But she made mincemeat pie and she'd give every one of us a slice of it. And I was like, oh, you know, I don't know how to make it. I don't care to make it. I don't like mincemeat pie. But you know, she used to make that, and my mom used to make this fruitcake, Dalek Jamba. But that's just saying cake. It's not being, because this is where environment comes in. When you have an environment and say Dalek Jamba and you look at it, it is fruitcake. That's where environment comes in and tells you exactly what kind of cake it is, okay? So you don't have to say fruit. Oh, somebody loves mincemeat pie. More power to you. Anita, you like it. Well, that's just more power to you because my mom and my grandma, they loved it. You know, but me, I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Every Christmas, this is Cassandra. She said every Christmas my grandma made mincemeat pie. I hated it as a kid, but made it last year because I was craving it. That's one thing I have never craved for or even miss, you know, and well, people likes it. I don't know, and maybe it's just the meat in it, you know, where it says mincemeat pie. My mom could eat one by herself, and my grandma, boy, when they had that, they were rich people. But me, you know, my grandma would give us a slice of it, and I don't know why she gave us a slice of it, but she would give us a slice, and you know, we were to we weren't meant to waste food, or you know, we were meant to eat things, you know, and boy, she put it on our plate, and I was like, and I knew what was coming. Really, look at there. It says mincemeat is expensive now. It's $20 a jar. Well, you know, my mom made hers homemade. I don't know how she made it. You know, I was young, you know, at the time, and I don't know how she made it. I had more better things to do, like be playing outside, you know. So I don't know. That's one thing I never cared to learn how to make. Okay, family. Idina hamgi. Idina hamgi. Okay, idina hamgi means ina, like body. This right here, na, is short for a body. Ina, see right here, idina hamgi means one body. It's saying one body, because family is one body if you actually look at it, isn't it? My mother, okay, that one body, when my mother was living, look at what one body from her body came. Me, my grandkids, see? Okay, do y'all get that? Idina hamgi means one body. It's saying one body, it's come from one body. But if you go way back, it has come from one body. And now, can you imagine this now? You think about this. You came from way, way back, but from one body. And it just carried on, carried on, carried on, carried on. No matter how many bodies it came from, that there's that one central body. See, that's why they call it idina hamgi, one body. Ain't that interesting? See this language, that's how come this language, I just love this. I just love these language because it, I don't know, it tells me things, you know, how they looked at things, how my people looked at things. You know, they'll say third, fourth cousin removed, second person removed. The Mvskoke people don't do that. They just say, idina hamgi, one body. You know, so that just interests me, you know, when I was looking at this, I look at these words, you know, one body. So somebody way back had to do that. And if you think about it, it's true. It's true. It comes from one person and just keeps going on and on. And so that person is still living. Rejoice. Afachkas. Remember, it's got the ki asi. So that's a command. Command. Afachkas. Be real happy. Be rejoiceful. Rejoice. See, this is rejoice, telling you rejoice. Afachkas. Rejoice. Elves. The Europeans call them elves. We call it ishti. That means little people. Isti is people, but labuchki means little. And you know, they're kind of mean. Labuchki, isti labuchki. It's elves. We would call it elves now, you know. In the modern day, we would call them elves. Chimney, chimney. Dotka hodi. Dotka hodi. Dotka is fire. Hodi means shelter. So it's saying the shelter for the fire. You see what I'm saying? Dotka hodi. Jesus. Okay. Look at your Jesus. This is European spelled in the English language, Jesus, but it's Jesus. But look, Jesus, G-E-C-I-C, Jesus. And then Hisayija. Hisayija means to bring breath, to bring breath. Hisagida is to breathe, but Hisayija means to bring the breath. Okay. And this, and I made up, I didn't know what else to call it, Rudolph. I was looking at Christmas words and I just thought, Rudolph, huh? So, Ijo Yobo Jadi. Ijo is deer, Yobo is nose, and Jadi is red. Yeah. That's saying deer nose red. It's a red deer nose. It's a red deer. It's a red-nosed deer. Ijo Yobo Jadi. Any questions? Any questions on nature, weather? And now these two goes together now. Nature and weather can go together. Okay? Like, Hashi. See, Hashi Hayidos. That's weather. You're saying it's hot outside when you're saying that Hashi is hot. So you're saying actually, if you say Hashi Hayidos, you know automatically, and remember I told you environment, situation has a lot to do with language. When you say Hashi Hayidos, you automatically, environment tells you that it's summertime, right? Environment tells you it's summertime because the sun is, okay. Hatisi Hayaya Gosidosh. The moon is bright. Another one, situation. Because when they say, if that's a statement though, it comes in and say, Hatisi Hayaya Gosidosh. The sun, the moon is so bright. You're going to go outside and look and see how bright it is. That's where situation and environment comes in again. It's describing. Okay? But it's a statement. It's a statement. It's just like walking in a house and saying, and there's 15 people there. You would say, you just tell him that it's bright. The moon is so bright. You're just making a statement. You know, you're just making a statement. And I'm going to do some things to this, so be ready for some more things here. That's another statement. You're just going into a house and you're not actually making a conversation, but you would just walk in and that was done. They say, there's a lot of stars. There's really a lot of stars. It's just a statement. But that would start a conversation, which you didn't have to. You're making a statement, but it can start a conversation. Ido nikse dos, we burn wood. Nikse dos. Ido nikse dos. We burn wood. That can say, okay. That's saying that you're heating your home with a wood stove. Because you don't just burn wood anywhere. You burn wood, that's where situation and environment comes in, okay? This is telling you that you burn wood for heat, okay? Because the situation environment, you don't just go and just burn wood anywhere, but you burn wood as heat, okay? That's where situation environment comes in. It's going to be time to cut grass. So you're saying right here, it's saying it's going to be time to cut grass. If somebody says, you know automatically that this is not summertime or springtime because grass grows in summer and spring. So it's got to be winter, ain't it? It's winter going into it. Now, okay, any questions on any of these things that I'm explaining to y'all? Situation, environment has a lot to do with language. Lot to do with language. Remember I told you in the beginning, situation, environment can change the meaning of a word, or it can change the meaning of a phrase, or it can tell you something. You can just about tell what it means by the situation and environment. Okay, so what does this tell you? The flowers are pretty. What situation environment does this tell you? Summertime or spring, isn't it? Because you're making a statement. The flowers are pretty. See? And that would tell you, and if you know the word bagoji, that kind of tells you, okay, they're saying in the tone. Oh, the flowers are really pretty. Is everybody getting me here? Is anybody lost? Where situation, environment, and tone comes into this language, and you can just about tell what people are saying. Just by one word. Anybody lost on this? Okay. Okay. Shadow Shulgiros. Okay, I got something. Okay, there you go. Okay, there it is. Somebody said, I'm getting you. It's really interesting for me. That's what I want, guys. Interest. Okay. And remember, I said situation, environment, tones. Everything has to do with language. Okay. And you can just about get it. Okay. Okay, so here we go. This is where we're getting into this now. I am so glad. If you need to go over something, we will. Okay. Sounds. You want to go over sounds because sounds has everything to do with it. We don't want to hear Fujo or Posi. Okay. We want to hear Fujo. We want to hear Bosi. That's why I'm doing this spelling here too. Okay. There are a lot of rocks. I forgot the S on here. There are a lot of rocks. I could be standing out in a field and just make a statement. There are a lot of rocks. Okay. That tells you I could be kicking a rock, or I could have a rock in my hand. Shadow would be automatically understood. Okay. Situation, environment again. Situation, environment again. Because a lot of our language is situation, environment, and tone. Tones have a lot to do with our language. Okay. It can be funny, it can be angry, it can be compassionate, it can be anything the way you want it to be. Okay. The lake is big. So we could be driving around. I say, Mahitcha. Hear the tone? Taki means the lake is big. Okay. Situation, environment again. Dotka, ligotidos. The fire is warm. Situation, environment again. Because you're sitting there in front of a fire and you say, ligotidos. Situation, environment again. Okay. It's just learning these words, guys. Okay, right here. The water is cold. You could be drinking water. Or somebody poured water on you and you say, or you can touch it. Water is cold. Situation, environment again. It's just learning. Or hey, hot. See? Or ligoshi, warm. You can replace this gazapi with ligoshi or warm. Okay. So here, this is where situation, and you can put that tone in there. Oh, gosh, dos. Gosh, really cold, man. and tone, see that tone. See, listen. Oh, ligoti dos. Ligoti. Oh, ligoti dos. It's not cold. I don't like cold water. Kal halwaji mahidos. Kal halwaji. Okay. Kan halwi sakko. Oh, right here. Kan halwi sakko is mountain. Kan halwaji. What makes that a hill? The uji. Remember the uji? Uji at the end makes that small. Anything that you got small, it's got the uji at the end. Okay. Kalhalwaji mahido. But look here. Mahi. Mahi means tall. So you're not saying that it's a mountain, tall mountain. You're saying that the little hill is pretty tall. Kalhalwaji mahidos. The hill is tall. I got something here. Says Madofa always taking the time to tell us origins of words or stories behind them and what they mean. I have a Lakota friend, so she never could learn it and have to stick until someone taught her that. See, you can't teach language, guys, without stories because they intertwine. Language, culture, tradition is braided with language. You can't teach language without these things because they all intertwine like a braid, like braided hair. It all is one. And then, this is, I have a lot of little things that I tell, that, language can be boring if that's all it is too. Sometimes it gets monotonous but when you have little things to tell, it makes it more interesting. And it's also a teaching tool for other things that come in. Okay. That's another statement. But if you come up from behind me, and you wouldn't even have to ask me a question. I would just say, because I'm looking at this mountain. And you could come up and I say, Gun Halwi Thako Heach to it. Gun Halwi Thako is mountain. Heach is the short for Hijida, to see, to look. Okay. Heach to West, saying I'm looking at. But just remember that IS saying you're doing it. Anything that you're doing, it's got the IS. Remember? Coming back to verbs, when you're doing it, it's got the IS. So you're saying, Gan halwi thakko heach to west. Gan halwi thakko heach to west. I'm looking at the mountain. So that's how that would go. Gotta take this, yeah. Oh no, do I need to get there? Whereabouts? Crap. Okay, all righty. Is Daddy gonna come back? Oh, okay, all right, all right. Okay, all right, all right. Okay, so this is where this comes in, okay? You could just walk behind me and I could say, situation, environment. I'm just looking at this mountain. I'm just looking at this mountain. It's a statement, okay? It's a statement. This is where situation, environment has a lot to do with language, okay? So any questions? Any questions on any of this? Because next, I told you we was going to go into nature. So We're gonna go over back over these, and I got some more phrases to do. And then another thing is we're gonna do insects. We kind of went over insects, trees, birds. There's different kind of birds, different kind of trees. There's different kind of insects. It's just not insects, you know, it's just not, there's a word for insects like nakwinahoga, something that is living, but there's different ones to identify those things. Remember, like frogs, you know, there's different kind of frogs. There's different kind of snakes. There's different kind of birds that we need to identify. And then we'll have, because you can learn fushwa, which is a bird in general. But you're not just going to see one bird all the time. You're going to see different kinds. So that's what we're going to look at so that you can identify birds, trees, bugs, like a rainbow. A hology see, Hashi is sun. Hatisi is moon. There's a difference. Kolaswa is star. Bahi is grass. Bagoji is flower. See, you've already distinguished these things if you study this. It's not just nature, it's Bahi, Bagoji. Imunga is nature. Imunga means just the way it's supposed to be. Imunga is nature. But part of nature is Bahi, Bagoji, Jado. All this is part of nature. Hashi. But I can say imunga, not imunga. That would mean nature. But that's just in general naming it. But if I said Hashi, you know, it's a sun. Hatisi, moon. See, that's part of nature, but you got different names for each one. Any questions? We got about 2 minutes. Any questions so far? And I'll be here with
Soon, Magagidi, it's time to plant seeds.
Not ahochka. You okay, not ahojida orthos. Okay, look here. Let me see where let's see, right here. Orthida. Orthos means it's time to start planting. Ahojida. Ahojida is to plant. But you can say ahochka, which is a field. My house pipe busted. It's flooded. They're flooded. My house is flooded. Okay, so my pipe in my house burst, and I just got a call saying my house is flooded. So I'm going to start 1 minute, but I'll be here Wednesday with bells on. Jump chaga. I'll have bells on. Oh, I know, guys. Oh, madam.
I know, Jimmy.
Praying.
Yes.